Parthiban Kanavu, English translation by Anand Kannan, narrated by Sujatha Anand. Book 3, Chapter 21. The Spring Island. For a week, Vikraman oscillated between hell and heaven. He is standing between walls of fire. His father, holding his hand, asks him, "Will you jump into the fire for your country?" Vikraman is aware that his mother is in tears, but responds, "Of course, father." His father's grip loosens. He walks into the fire. It burns him, but he is fully conscious. He wonders, how is it that my body and sense are intact amidst this fire? How long will I be alive? How long can I withstand this inferno? Amidst excruciating pain, a cool hand touches his arm and feels his chest. He can see a beautiful face look down on him with concern. He emerges from the fire. He wants to thank the divine woman who led him out of that inferno, but can't find her. Vikraman is sailing. The flag with tiger insignia is fluttering about. Hundreds of soldiers are aboard. As the ship set sail, King Parthiban and Queen Arulmozhi had blessed him and wished him success. Thunderstorms and hurricane arrive without warning. The ship capsizes. Vikraman battles the waves to stay afloat. He can feel hypothermia setting in. Just as he is losing hope, he can see a boat magically cruise towards him. On the boat is a familiar-looking woman with the radiance of full moon in her face. She lends him a hand and helps him get aboard. Her face is wet. It is not clear if it was due to the waves or tears. Vikraman wants to thank her, but the words are trapped in his throat. Vikraman is walking in a desert. The sun burns his body. The sand burns his feet. He is thirsty. There is no greenery or shade in sight. He sees something like a water body afar. He hurries towards it, but it remains just as far away. Is this what they call a mirage? He thinks. The last drop of energy drains. He collapses. I'm doing all this at my parents' command, for my country, he thinks as his consciousness fades. A gentle pair of hands picks him up. He tries to find out who is helping him up, but can't see. Did I lose my vision in this heat? He speculates in despair. The arms lay him down on a comfortable bed. It feels like he is in the middle of an orchard near Kaveri. He can taste the water of river Kaveri. He wants to thank the divine soul who quenched his thirst. He senses a face close to his. He smells jasmine. His eyesight appears to return. The kind, smiling face that is looking down at me looks familiar. It is the same face that saved me from several dangers, he thinks. He wants to raise his arm to touch the face, but the arm is too heavy to lift. He falls unconscious. After swinging between bliss and misery for days, Vikraman returned to full consciousness. His memory clear. The last thing he remembered was resting in the pavilion in Ponnan's company. He looked around. The place seemed familiar. As his head cleared, he was astounded to find himself in the spring palace in Urayur. How did I get here? Who brought me here? Who else is in the palace? He wondered. And where is Ponnan? He remembered the bittersweet hallucinations in the fever. At least a part of that must be true. The young woman's face, he told himself. He could hear anklets. He looked up eagerly, but he saw that they were maids, strangers. The doctor came to treat him. Servants and maids came to tend to him, but there was no sign of that woman. He could not bring himself to voice his thoughts and questions to the maids. They were also mute in his presence as they served him. A day went by. He slept that night. The next morning, he could not lie in bed. He felt strong enough to walk. His legs felt stable. He wandered out of the palace into the garden. No one stopped him. He walked on towards the river. He was elated to look at River Kaveri and the Spring Palace Island after several years. The shade of the mango tree was heavenly. He walked slowly and sat down at the bank. He felt at peace. He looked down at the water. He saw the reflection of a young woman's face. The divine face. The same face that he saw in Kanchi and Mamalapuram. the face that gave him comfort in the middle of feverish misery, the face that he was wondering if he was ever going to see again. Kundavi had arrived and was standing leaning on a tree. End of chapter 21.